Lethal Company released and really grabbed the internet by the balls. You couldn't open TikTok without seeing some exaggerated swagger Thugaloony screaming to his mic. The game was literally everywhere. It wasn't just clip farming either. Lethal Company was still a really fun game to play. With friends, by yourself or with randos, you can kind of get bland. But hey, maybe that's just my low attention span ass talking. Anyways, what do you mean this is a content warning video? No, you should kill yourself. Don't worry, I got this. Let me just copy and paste, and there, I got it. Content warning release and was played by everyone for a week before being put down in favor for Lethal. You could open TikTok and scroll for hours and maybe see 1 or 2 content warning clips. The game was everywhere in the niche indie let's playing world. Okay, just aside, content warning isn't a complete ripped-off of Lethal Company, but was definitely made to imitate the style of Lethal. Both games have weekly quotas that increase each time you beat them. Both games have you leaving the safety of your ship to travel through dangerous worlds of woody monsters. I mean, that's if you can really call these monsters. And both games have silly spacesuits to make it immediately recognizable in YouTube thumbnails. Won't lie though, I like the content warning spacesuits way more because you know you can actually like rest yourself with stupid ass faces. If these games are so similar though, why does one still have a pretty sizable active player base with regular updates and the other one, well, doesn't? I'm gonna tell you why though, don't worry your pretty little head. But first, I want to do a little bit of self-promotion. Subscribe, nigga. In content warning, you and whoever you can find to actually play this game are YouTubers trying to go viral by venturing down to spooky underworld, record monsters and whatnot for views. You only have 3 days to reach the weekly quota of views from your videos. Whoever holds the camera is the only one that can get views, so the game revolves around keeping them alive to see spooky shit go down. After each recording session, you head back to home base to upload your footage and binge whatever brain rot you just created. In Lethal Company, you and your friends work for the company, a shady organization that tasks you with flying to different alien worlds to collect scrap and random bullshit to sell to the company for profit. So you can meet the weekly quota, otherwise you'll be ejected out into space Among Us style and most definitely perish. Scrap has different price values with higher level scrap requiring you to venture further into the facility, putting yourself in more danger. Both games have pretty similar objectives and I see why on paper content warning seems like it should work. In practice though, for starters, the only one character is capable of holding the camera, or the cameraman dies and no one's around to hear it, or many people have to waste time looking for the camera. The problem with that is being in a group constantly makes the game significantly less scary since it's hard to be scared with 3 retards stimming in your face 24/7. And yeah, it is a multiplayer horror game. It doesn't feel like a lot of multiplayer is going on when only one person can really progress the task. Speaking of tasks, the view system also falls a little flat. With Lethal, you're easily able to know which items give more cash, with more expensive shit being further into the facility and usually heavier, making it more risky. This requires you to do a lot of strategies to be able to grab the most shit with the least amount of tricks and dangers, needing to use each teammate in unique ways. Like you have the nigga who stays back in the ship to use the comms, the retard who can't fail to jump, Chloe, the person who's actually good at the game. Like it's a team effort. And content is less obvious what will give you views, and while yes this is part of the fun trying to figure out what will blow up your channel the most, with the limited film the shit camera has, it requires you to either record shit hella quickly or be hella picky, in which the game feel more like doing tedious side quests or quick time events so you don't waste too much film, especially since whoever is playing with the camera is having the most fun and meaning you're constantly from who gets to use it. That's not the only issue the camera represents, it's the way it's implemented also has a massive impact on the scariness of the monsters. But before we talk about that, a little bit of self-promotion. Why'd I say that twice? Speaking of scary, let's talk about the map, because what is one of the scariest things about horror games? That's right, furries and the scary environments. Okay, gonna get straight through it and rip the band-aid off. Content warning only has 3 fucking maps. 3. In the launch there was only 2. But they added a third one and made it so it's random what map you get on each quota because it used to be a set order. You can probably imagine why this hurt the game's replayability though. The 3 maps weren't even that cool. I could barely remember any differences between them while writing this, so I had to go back and look up each one. Even then, it's hard to talk about what separates them. I mean, obviously they're different, with one being a factory, one is like a cave, forgot about the other one, but they do nothing to stand out. So after playing for a while, they all kind of get mixed together in my brain. Also, with them being the same each time with no changes, Spawn gets less and less interesting each time you go through them. This wouldn't be an issue if there was more maps, but there isn't. Like with Lethal, for the most part, interiors are the same with them typically just being the factory. factory. All the factories are completely randomized, however, so even though it's the same every time, each time you go through them, it feels different, and well, shit, it is different. Lethal doesn't only have one interior, it actually has multiple, with them being completely randomized. Though the best part about Lethal's maps, in my opinion, is the exterior. Now, the exteriors aren't randomized, there's so many of them that it doesn't need to be. Each one is also very, very visually distinct since, you know, it's a fucking alien planet. You also get to choose what planet you go to, so you're not forced to be stuck on the same map for each quota. I mean, you can choose to do that. Random weather conditions and other events will probably intervene with that, especially the blood moon. Holy shit, I hate the blood moon so bad. Like, try playing any map with the blood moon, it'll be actually hell. But that's a good thing. Horror games are supposed to be like hell, because, you know, hell's scary or some shit, I don't know. Unless you're a Hazmat Hotel fan, then hell's probably full of gay twinks, which is another point for Lethal, not the gay twinks part. Those random weather conditions add a real spice to Lethal, forcing you to have to be smart and strategic with where you choose to drop. In content, that strategic aspect is completely gone. Instead, you're stuck with one of the 3 maps the game forces down your gullet. So, let's see. We did gameplay, we did maps. So what could I be forgetting? Could be items. Nah, the game forgot about those too. Oh yeah, the monsters. They're mid. Okay, I'm gonna speedrun this overview because content warning has like 30 monsters, so I'm just gonna go over the ones I think are interesting. If you want to see them more, I don't know, watch this video. This guy I watched. Iron Maiden is like a weeping angel. It looks cool. I like the design, I like the whole aspect about you having to like do a different puzzle. Wish it was like scarier though, or showed up more, or maybe it got difficult each attempt, or maybe it just didn't die. Starfish attacks from above, make most of the clips of the game scary. Really good starting monster. Once you know what to do with it, not really an issue. Spider looks cool. I like how it actually traps in your webs and uses an attack. I don't know, Lethal Company doesn't really do that. I like the unique design. Most spiders in games are just big ass spiders, so seeing a nice approach is cool. Snatcher, big snail dude that yeets the fuck out of you. I just think it's neat. The idea of someone's just throwing you and also them ragdolling is funny as fuck. I don't know if it's really scary, but it's cool. The flicker, that's what my girlfriend calls me. Big eye scary dude spawns with lights, can't look her dead. I don't really remember that one, but wrote in my notes, so it's probably need editor put footage when I'm editing this shit. Big slap, big ass hands. You know Hanryama from Pokemon? That's him. Just smacks the absolute fuck out of you. I love this dude. The rest of these are adding the update. I don't know, the original monsters weren't that cool. Intruder, it's just a better version of the Mimic from Lethal Company. Like, I know the Mimics and Lethal's too obvious, the mask. This one I think he does a pretty good job. Also, them having different face things is neat. Cam creep, it's like picks one player and stalks them, they record, it'll appear in the camera, blah blah blah. I like this. It plays with like the main gimmick of the game using the camera and forces you to actually be switching the camera so one person doesn't record the whole time. But also kind of like the Ghost Girl from Lethal Company. Tail small and floats around and spawns like 25 snails. This is like a mini boss. It's like this giant snail guy, or like the worm from fucking no, like the Gorb Queen from the Amazing Digital. Anyways, he like shit spawns a bunch of snails. It's not really like I don't know how to describe it. It's more like a boss in a video game, but it's just like cool. Also, if you're like in a small area, all the snails will definitely fuck your life. Void Drown spawns a black hole. Need I say more? Streamer, evil anti-player, has a bunch of gear charged at you. It's like 7 foot tall. I think that's a neat idea, like taking a player and like putting a twist on to making a villain, but not being a mimic thing. Like I said earlier, there's more, but pretty lame. Like one of them is just a button that follows you around. I mean, I like that there's 30 different monsters, but what's the point of having 30 monsters and most of them are bullshit? And compare that to Lethal, it only has 24 monsters. 6 lesson content. I don't know why I have to explain basic maths to you, you're not retarded. It doesn't really matter though, since Lethal monsters are way better for the most part. These bursts are annoying as fuck, but they can't all be winners. But most of them are, and the ones that aren't get removed. That's right, Lethal Company has removed monsters that didn't work well with the gameplay as to not bloat the game with a bunch of half-baked creatures. Something content warning can take notes on. I remember the first time I encountered the koi hit while playing Lethal Company. It scared me so much I literally jumped off and killed myself and left my friend Chloe alone to deal with it. Shit like that sticks with you. And content warning, all the monsters are too bland or generic. They don't really last an impact. Like I see them, get my footage and get out. Or they kill me, I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then I just reload the game. And that's because in Lethal, the monsters feel more like obstacles. Hazards in your way, specifically out there to make your job hell to complete. But in content warning, the monsters are the job. The objectives of content warning requires you to actively seek out and film the monsters, especially in later quotas when you need more views. The mouse is the game has to nerf the danger factor of the monsters, making a lot of them, while still cool in design concept, feel like it'll fit more in an action RPG adventure game than in a horror game. There's things I could talk about, like the items, our shop, etc, but there's no point. I think you get it now. Lethal does everything pretty much better. Though content warning still had a chance to stand on its own. Granted, it still would have been in Lethal Shadows, but I believe they kept updating the game and giving the fans what they want. They could have been able to build their own niche fan base. Plus, their first major update looked very promising as well, adding one whole ass map and a bunch of new enemies like the ones I talked about earlier. And the second update, doesn't exist. Yep, after that big major update, content just stopped being worked on. So if you're wondering, what happened to content warning? That's what, the game just stopped being updated. Major bummers, man. Not much to say to conclude this. Content warning was clearly made to build off the hype from Lethal, while at the same time completely airballing what made people hype about Lethal to begin with. It's like they just kept seeing the TikTok clips and said, hey, let's make a game out of that. On the bright side, if you're a fan of content, there's loads of mods to add a lot to update the game, since clearly the developers don't want to. Plus, my friend Tavern just informed me about this game that's like a mix between Content Warning Lethal Company, where it takes like the camera aspect of content, but the good game part of Lethal. I actually might make a video about that at some point. Guess what, Traveler? You made it to the end of the video. And guess what you won? More of me. That's right. For a limited time offer, Danny Boy will be coming at you with a video that doesn't take 2 weeks. In all serious note, I hit 300 subscribers. I think that's pretty rad. It's like 6:17 a.m. I just finished recording the rest of the shit. And I gotta get up in 2 hours to go to this party with my girlfriend for like Holy or some shit. It's gonna be so fun because she watches these. Love you. Make sure you stay tuned for the next upload. It might be a little bit different this time because my editor is gonna be giving it a whirl. After that, I have a few more videos planned, trying shit out. If I hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll reveal something. Not sure what. So subscribe to find out.